AJ,
Michael Patrick.
welcome back. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome to Hungry People.
Dude, I love it's kind of funny actually. I was driving in the car today and I was saying your early nights intro.
Oh yeah, try it.
Welcome to
Give me.
Early Nights. I'm your host AJ Diveka. Soon to be the number one sleep resource in the world.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I have another channel called Early Nights. We can link it down below. Feel free to go check that out if you're really interested in sleep recovery. I'd mainly talk about health there as well. So everything sleep related, go check that out. Really happy with how it's going so far.
Awesome, dude. That's great. Yeah, I mean, sleep is everything when you think about it.
Well, MP's gonna have to come on. We'll have to record one on the other channel. You'll be the first guest.
Hey, we should talk about sleep on Hungry People.
Yeah, we have.
If that's okay, is
We
that
actually
okay with
have.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we definitely, yeah. That was what during our sleep, water, sugar
Yeah.
era.
Yeah. We recorded at your house too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cool. So today we were discussing, we wanted to talk a little more about digestion. So digestion is kind of the focal point, just like sleep. Like there's certain pillars, and if your digestion is off, the rest of your life is probably going to be off, and you're going to be more stressed and having issues there. MP brought something up the other day. I thought it sparked a interesting conversation. He's like, "Let's bring it on the pod." So,
Yeah,
MP, if
dude.
you want to kick us off?
Well, yeah. So, and I just wanted to preface too. AJ and I, we still talk. We're still sending voice messages to each other back and forth all the time. Staying in touch. And yeah, digestion came up, and you were just like, "Dude, my digestion's perfect." And I was like, "Heck yeah, well let's talk about it." Like,
Let's do it.
let's show the people how to get perfect digestion, or how you do it at least, and how I do it. Because I mean, dude, if you're walking around bloated all day, or just even
Mhm.
bloated in general, that's a horrible feeling. No one wants to feel that way. So it's important that no bloat. I mean, for me, it's tough with the gas. 'Cause I feel like part of carbohydrates, you could potentially get gassy.
Some
Um,
fermentation going on. I
yeah,
think that
but
the way that I like to present it is like for some reason when kids are young, we're like really paying attention. Like if you have children, are they napping enough? Are they sleeping enough?
mhm.
And we don't carry that over to adulthood. So like if an adult is exhausted and stayed up and is running on stimulants, no problem. But also if a kid is like having digestive issues and he hasn't gone for a couple of days,
Yeah.
it's worrisome. But as adults, people don't take it too serious. So
Mhm.
obviously, digestion is one of the cornerstones. And so, if you're having issues, there's a lot of things you can do to improve it. A lot.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk today about that. MP, the reason it got brought up is because we were talking about coffee and how much better I feel off of coffee, despite being majorly addicted to coffee. And he was saying, like, that the coffee really kind of moves things along for him, which I know most people rely on coffee to do that. So, MP, if
Mhm.
you want to share a little.
Yeah, no. So I was a non-coffee drinker for pretty much my entire vegan phase. I would drink it in college mainly only because we had it in our cafeteria, and I'm like, oh, this French vanilla cappuccino is so good, and
Mm.
like I would just drink it. It just tasted amazing. And it's not that I like really needed it or felt like I needed it, but I just loved the taste of it. That's why I drank it. So fast forward, so I started, eating animal products again and then eating meat. And I was at Thanksgiving. Like our company had a Thanksgiving event, and there was some coffee there, and it just was like honestly kind of like BS coffee. And I'm like, talked to one of my girls. I was like, I haven't had coffee in forever, and she was like, oh, MP, you don't want to drink this coffee. Like this isn't that good. Like if
Mm.
you have your first coffee back, you want it to be like top notch, like good coffee. And I was just like, all right, whatever. I mean, okay, sure, you're probably right. I said, sure. I still drank, and I was like, dang, this actually like tastes really good, and it felt
Yeah.
really good.
Get you high.
No, it seriously does. And truthfully, I feel like I actually never really felt the effects of caffeine, or maybe I didn't really notice them
Mhm.
back in the day. Whenever I would drink those cappuccinos, or if I would get a Dunkin' after a night out, and oh, I'm getting coffee, like French vanilla, this, whatever. I feel like I didn't feel the effects of the caffeine, but nowadays, I definitely feel the effects of caffeine, which I think is probably the biggest issue with the coffee. Um, but yeah, it's funny too though. Even with the caffeine, like there's just so much information online. Like
Mhm.
and we say it multiple times how it's like, hey, some people are saying caffeine is, a super drug. It's like the best. It's so good for you, X, Y, and Z. But then people are like, you're screwing your thyroid or screwing your adrenals. You're gonna get all wonky and you're gonna have a crash at 3 p.m. every single day. But I think you have to take it like on a person by person basis. Um,
There's a lot of people who say it's like neuroprotective. Then you have the other camp where it's like, well, are you actually getting the deepest sleep so your brain
yeah.
can recover? And so there's a lot of back and forth. I think the key to notice is like be honest with yourself. Is it actually aiding you and you feeling better and getting through your day and
Hmm.
improving things, or are you kind of addicted and it's having the downsides? Maybe you're having the cold hands and feet because it's a vasorestrictor, so it makes your veins and arteries clench up.
Hmm.
One of the reasons why you get off caffeine and you get a headache is because those blood vessels expand again and blood starts rushing to your head. Are you dependent upon it for digestion, or does it just kind of enhance your already good digestion? Being honest with where you're at, I think there's more downsides than positives. But
Yeah.
if you're someone who's basically in good health, someone who's just an average Joe, and it does help you get through your work week and kind of
Hmm.
deal with the stresses of your life. I think it could be good in that sense. But be honest, and if you have a lot of health to improve, I would say like really get down to foundations.
Hmm.
Get your digestion good, get your sleep on point, and caffeine's really only going to make that more complicated for you.
For sure. Well, even with the coffee stuff, what I really see from a lot of influencers online or even doctors, they say that it is best to pair your coffee with food for
Yeah.
optimal digestion. And I even noticed that myself. Like when I do have heavier meals, especially in the morning, and I do drink coffee with it, I really don't notice much of the caffeine benefit or the caffeine downside.
Mm,
I'm like, I feel fine. But like if I do eat lighter foods, like today I had some fruits and my girlfriend makes actually these amazing banana pancakes. Uh, I had that. Like it's kind of light. It's lighter, more sugary foods. I definitely feel more of the caffeine, more kind of amped up. Versus like
mm,
if I'm eating eggs and bacon, whatever. An example was I went to a wedding, and then after you have at the next morning you go to the bar, uh, the food bar, downstairs, the hotel
mm.
breakfast, and there's like waffles and there's potatoes and like potentially not your normal breakfast, and I don't feel the caffeine whatsoever, essentially.
For sure. Yeah. So
Um,
like going out to brunch, right, with family, if you have like a big breakfast or something, and then
yeah.
you have a coffee, it's probably not too problematic. But let's be honest, how many people are just fasting on coffee, at least for the first half of the day?
Oh, so many people, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, well, it's funny. My one buddy's like, I know somebody who legit only drinks coffee till dinner, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? Like, dude, if I did that, I would be an anxious freaking wreck, dude. Like, like my body would be like, what are
Imagine
you
taking a
doing to me?
neurotic person who's
Yeah.
already emotionally up and down and then just thrashing their system with that. Yeah.
Right. So that's how I can understand where people do get issues down the road, because they're just drinking coffee, but they're not also supplementing the food with it too. And
Yeah.
that's like the important part. But like also too, the kind of the way that I see it is like the coffee actually does kind of help digest your food a little bit. Like your metabolism does speed up,
Mm.
and you potentially could, digest your food better. Um, that's why they say to drink the coffee after, you eat or pair it with a meal or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, like you have to know your body and you have to know what works for you. And hey, if you are somebody who drinks coffee and like you can just drink it all day and you don't have to eat, like kudos to you. Like I give you credit, but
Yeah. We've
um, I-
we've never been of the camp of telling people who are feeling successful in what they're doing what to do.
right,
Obviously, if they're succeeding, they're doing something right for
yeah,
themselves. But
yes.
you got, like I said, you got to be honest with yourself. Are you being
Mhm.
held back from it? And it sounds like you aren't. It sounds like you are doing well with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning and processing stuff in my head about what I need versus what I don't need. So
Mm.
it doesn't just take 3 to 6 months. Like this kind of like learning your body could take years potentially, and you have to keep trying out new things and seeing actually what does work best for you, and that's important. Um,
So let's do this. Share a little bit about your digestion, kind of like how
yeah.
it's evolved over the years. I'll do mine as well.
For sure.
Um, if you want, I can start it, and then you can go ahead with yours.
Yeah, that's great.
So basically, the number one issue that I had besides anxiety growing up was digestion. Wasn't until my high school years where I just
Hmm.
really started to get issues being backed up and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
what I noticed was that would affect everything else. I would notice that there, pain. I started to get things like inflammation in the rest of my body because I wasn't really able to eliminate other stuff. At the highest point, I got to like 60 days constipated, which is like scary to think about. And especially because I ate a lot of food, right? I was someone who ate a lot of food. You guys can go back and like see other videos where us talking about that, but we're going to keep it shorter today. Um, but essentially, this went on for years. And the
Hmm.
reason why I learned everything I learned and met all the people I met, and the reason we started this show is because I was thirsty to like find and hungry to find information that made me feel great again because I was an athlete,
Yeah.
running, boxing, all the stuff.
Well, dude, I even remember, sorry to interrupt you, but I even remember like your celery juice. You're like juicing celery, and like you actually followed me on Instagram, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I kind of like remember this guy from like I think I've seen him at some like Woodstock stuff or something. I'm just gonna follow him back. And dude, I was just listening to your story. Like you put all these stories up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, probably like 10 minutes of stories on your Instagram.
I know. I don't
And
know
I
how I
was
did
like,
that.
dude, I was like loving it, dude. And it's
Yeah. Well, I think what people like about that stuff, the people that do like it, is it comes from a place of passion. It comes from a place of like
yeah,
genuine desire to
right.
feel better. It's not just to do it to like show off, like, look at my green star,
Yeah.
my Vitamix
Well, I
smoothie.
even I even remember because at the end you're like, "Hey, if you listen to all this, you're a real one." And I remember like listening to it. I can listen to
You're a
everything.
real one. Here we
Because
are.
dude, like I loved it. I was like,
Yeah.
and like I had a passion for it, and I still have a passion for it. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, so essentially, like I began learning, and I, found people like Durian Rider. Mike Well, first was actually Mike Arnstein because he was
yeah.
like, I feel great, this and that. He was fast. He was a runner.
Hmm.
Went through all of his videos like super quick, and he talked about how great his digestion was.
Hmm.
And so I started eating like tomatoes and apples, and like just feeling way better.
Yeah.
And then I found Harley, and I feel like Harley really took over my mind for a while because like
Yeah.
he was that guy. He was super passionate, and he found out a lot of things, and he was like riding 350 miles in 24 hours and just doing like crazy stuff.
Right.
And Harley's like, super passionate. So I got really into that, and then
Hmm.
kind of like lost it again. And then I found DTM, and DTM really kind of like really he put not just the diet stuff on me, but really look at like what's going on with who you are and what you're about, and get off the stims and breathe fresher air and kind of hold yourself to a higher standard in a
Right.
sense than just put lots of bananas in your fucking smoothie. So like that was kind of like the foundation. And because of all the information I gained from Dr. McDougall and all these doctors and studying this for a long time, I was able to really find how to improve my body to where now I can just eat kind of whatever
Yeah.
and it's strong enough to break it down and
Right.
eliminate it. And I was telling MP, my digestion is probably like a 10 out of 10. Like it's just really good no matter what I put in. I don't need
Nice.
coffee. I don't even need to like drink tons of water to make
Nice.
everything move. I think that my body's just kind of healed from a lot of the stuff. And
Right.
periodically I'll do like Morse herbs and things. And I think that's a good tune up.
Yeah, I
But
mean it's good to mix in that kind of stuff too, you
yeah.
know. What about like enzymes? Do you still like believe in the enzymes? Do you still, think that they can really help people with digestion or, because it's actually ironically enough, I remember when I was back in like the juicing days, which I still, dude, I'm not kidding. I legit juiced the other day. Not in like a mega juicer, but I really just juice like oranges and limes and lemons with
Mm-hmm.
those like you just like press it down.
Yeah.
It's just easier to clean up, but I still juice to this day. I think it's important and I love it, and it's like freebasing vitamins and minerals and nutrients right into your body, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I remember this dude commented on one of my stories. I was like on my oatmeal stories and he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be eating oatmeal." It's like one of those raw vegans like
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like, I saw he's like, I was there when Luke Corona was demonstrating how these enzymes were working. And I think it was the Puridyme ones. And he said that he would like just like sprinkle some of the Puridyme enzyme on the oatmeal and it would just like
Break it up.
completely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, break it up, digest it, whatever.
Yeah. Like a pre-digest.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, oh, that's like, I mean, that's interesting. And dude, that like, as little as that was, that little conversation, I forget the guy. I don't even remember who this guy was.
Yeah,
I may not even ever talk to this guy again. But that little message, it just kind of like stuck with me for some reason.
it does.
And I always like think about that with the enzymes. I'm like, whether it's placebo or not, I'm like, hey, I'll take it. Like to me, I just kind of believe in it. I believe it's
Mhm.
working, and I believe that it is doing, doing more good than bad. I don't really see what bad is
Yeah.
coming from taking enzymes. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I take this. It's just regardless, it's just gonna help me digest,
Yeah.
whatever.
We
So,
did a few like 2 years ago. We did a episode all about enzymes. Feel free to check that out. I think it's probably like 2.5 years ago.
mhm.
But yes, I love the enzymes. And I do take them periodically as well. I'm someone who's kind of all or nothing. So if I'm doing like the clean thing, I'm doing it all in. And if I'm eating bullshit and drinking beer and you know
Right.
fucking around, it's kind of all at once, But I when I get more into like routine, I start to clean up and start to do those things.
Yeah.
Essentially, the enzymes are assisting your body, so it's not using its own enzymes to like uh, process all this stuff, right? You
Mhm.
have food grade enzymes, you have supplemental enzymes, and then you have biological enzymes that you release, and even like your pancreas and stuff releases. So the idea is to support your body as much as
Mhm.
you can. The thing is,
Yeah.
you'd also like you don't when you're detoxing, you don't have to live in detox, right? You can get a lot of benefits from like 1, 2, 3 weeks, then slowly incorporate other stuff,
Right.
and you
Right.
still have those benefits.
Yes.
But when you go really hard each way, you start to fuck your system up.
Yeah. Well, just like going like continuing with that point, like dude, we do stuff as humans that we probably shouldn't be doing as humans. Staying up till 2 a.m., playing video games, staying up till 2, drinking beer and getting pizza like super late at night. So like, you know, in my opinion, like it's okay if you do stuff that may not be as human. Like I don't know, should humans take enzymes? Who knows? But like they're there and they help
Yeah.
assist. They help assist you. So like
And
it's
you
a
were you were traveling using them and saying that they were helping you, right?
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, that's when I was in Florida, I think, and I
Yeah.
remember like, dude, like this is awesome. It feels so good. Um, but yeah, like it's okay to do stuff that like may not be human. Like we're not, like enjoy society, enjoy being a human. There's so much stuff that you can take advantage of. It's like saying, oh, I'm not gonna take advantage of modern medicine to live longer. Like, why would you not do that? Like everyone should be doing that. Um, but but yeah, no, I think there's just so many benefits to the enzymes, and it is always funny, AJ, when you talk about it. You're like all or nothing. Where in my head, I'm like, well, it actually, I feel like that would stuff would help you. If you're
Yeah, no, it
like
would, and
drinking or
that's the
whatever.
stateliness in you. Yeah, that's the neuroticism in me.
Right. Um.
Because
But
Dr. Doug Lisle, he says that life and health is a continuum.
yeah.
So we tend to think of it like, okay, think back to the orthorexic days of like eating really, really clean.
Hmm.
You're like, all right, tomorrow's day one, and it's like, I'm going to do this and do this and
Right.
walk at this time. And so, like, we think of health like this when we're doing it.
Yeah.
But over a lifetime, your health is more like this.
Of course. Of
So
course.
actually doing good more often than not, I know it's common sense, but
Right.
is going to lead to a better outcome. And
Totally.
so, I think it's just probably because you and I are getting a little older. I feel a little wiser and less emotional about it all.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, real quick, with just talking about like my digestion and how it's changed, and then we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
Even though like I want to continue and sit here and talk about digestion, hey, there's plenty of time for more digestion episodes, and we're definitely gonna like one thing that we want to do is we want to continue to talk about the same stuff, just so that you guys get familiar with us in our message, and so that you understand like what we're trying to preach here.
Yeah. And
And
message us
that's
down below what you want to see. Too.
yeah, and that's also it's we want to preach consistency, and that's what we want. So like we're definitely going to be talking about digestion. Hey, we may talk about coffee, twice over the next 4 episodes. We may talk about eating, or we may talk about like personality traits or whatever. Like that's just like we want that to be our thing. But yeah, like real quick. So like I like really when I started to notice everything was when I started like juice fasting and like on my like during my raw phase. And then and everything was like pretty good there, but like athletically my results weren't up to par. And then I started, eating like cooked foods again and pretty much just like regular vegan. And arguably speaking, I would say like I quote unquote did it right. If you had to like, like I don't know what's the best way to eat vegan. I have no idea. It depends on you, whatever. But like I would get like people would legitimately compliment me and be like, dude, how you're eating right now is like I strive to do that. Like it was awesome. I was eating like fruit in the morning, and maybe doing like a smoothie with I don't even remember honestly. It was so long ago, but actually I remember like putting everything on my story on Instagram. Like yeah, I can just go back in the archives and look. Um, but like maybe I would have some like oatmeal for lunch or something, and then or I was probably doing like two fruit meals, maybe some juice or something, and then like a cooked dinner.
Like raw till four.
Yeah, pretty much. But then like obviously that evolves and changes over time. Uh, but but I really was like super high carb. And I will say the one thing that I've noticed when I was that was, and I even remember telling you, I'm like, dude, I would wake up and like, I just like can't breathe. It's like so weird. I don't know what's like wrong with me.
Hmm.
Like I'd wake up and I'd be like it'd be like hard to like take a deep breath. What's my deal, But I actually came to the conclusion that I was actually just bloated like every single morning when I was waking up.
So
And
essentially, you were having like pressure on your diaphragm.
yeah, because I was eating so much food because like
Yeah.
you kind of have to when you are only doing
Which
higher
is the
carb,
worst part of the diet. Like
Yeah,
I don't miss that at all. I hate thinking
right,
about food. I hate,
right,
having to stuff yourself.
for sure.
You
And that
know?
is like that's like the one benefit that I've really noticed is like I don't have to eat as much food, whether I am the same weight or if I'm more ripped or if I'm a little bigger, whatever. I don't have to eat as much, and I don't feel the need to do that. And because of that, like I do feel my digestion is better, but I also can breathe way better too because I'm not just constantly stuffing stuff in
Yeah.
my face. And like even still when I was high carb, like you just want to keep eating and eating and eating. Like you're like never really full. Whereas like if
Yeah.
you do eat more protein and fat, like you actually get full. Like
Hmm.
it's a real thing. Satiation. Um, so and I'm not saying like I'm not perfect now. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh my gosh, like I
Yes,
have
you
like
are.
the like I had the best digestion and like I never get bloated, which I mean I don't anymore. I rarely do because I try my best to like eat until satiation and then stop.
Mhm.
Like because like I don't want to feel like shit,
You're
you
also
know?
fit though. That helps a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah, right, for sure. For sure. Um, but no, I still like try to do similar practices. Like I still try to eat fruit first in the morning and like try to get a couple pieces in. And I still drink juice and whatnot, and I try to food combine well, like seriously, if people like if there's like fruit somewhere, but I've already eaten like other stuff, I'm like, nah, I'm good on the fruit. Like I'm
Yeah.
very wary of that, because it just digests so much faster and actually could cause more issues than benefits in that sense.
I do
Um,
think with that, a lot of the issue with it running into it is only an issue if you're doing tons of fruit. Like I don't
yeah,
find like if I
yeah,
ate cooked breakfast and later I have an apple, I don't think it does
yeah.
anything.
No, no, no. You're right. You're right.
But even Rain, the guy we had Rain on, old
Hmm.
friend from Woodstock, he runs
Hmm.
Miami Fruit. He was eating watermelon all day, but he was eating cooked food all day too. So like the
Yeah,
watermelon was pushing the food. My
right.
theory is like it was pushing a lot of that food through him.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, you've always said that like, oh, I would eat watermelon after, and like it actually would help me.
Yeah, yeah.
But once again, like it just depends on who you are, depends on how backed up you are, and like there's plenty of factors, fitness and activity level, sunlight. You could
But I would
argue,
argue creating a fire digestion so that it can kind of incinerate whatever you're putting in
yeah,
is somewhat of a goal.
yeah.
You shouldn't be falling apart every time you eat something.
No, well, it's funny because I still follow Blackburn, and I actually was just sending you stuff yesterday, some stuff that he was
Mhm.
posting, and I
Would
buy.
he come on the show or is he like too big?
He is pretty big actually, but I mean, dude, I actually support him. I buy his supplements like every month.
You
So
should ask him.
yeah, I don't want to be like, hey, dude, I buy your supplements, I support you. Like, would you mind coming on the podcast? I don't want to be like that, but I
Mhm.
mean, it'd be good to get him on though, dude. But
Yeah.
he'd probably, I wouldn't surprise me if he asked me to pay him, which I'd be open to
Mhm.
that because, like, dude, he is a good resource, and
Yeah. How big is he?
dude, let me
Has he
check
got like
actually.
hundreds of thousands? Or
Yeah, I mean,
I'm out of the loop.
well, so he has his supplement page, which is Mito Life. Well, my thing with what I like about his supplements, they're like clean. It's like clean supplements. It's not like you get these like grocery store and there's a gazillion ingredients and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So he has 57,500 followers for Mito Life.
Wow.
Yeah, so
So
that's
he's
that's a
big.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he has 104,000 for his main account. So
Very cool.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I only asked
But
because I know you've been following him for a long time.
yeah, no, I have, and he's a good resource, and I like his work and whatnot. So, but yeah. Anyways, AJ, little digestion talk today. Still plenty to be said about digestion, but even like fasting too, real quick. Even fasting, I pretty much intermittent fast most days. Like try to get 12 to 14 hours. That definitely
Hmm.
helps as well. Um, but um, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
good.
takeaways.
Yeah.
If it, so get your sleep on point because when you're sleeping, I don't know if any of you have noticed if you have digestive issues. If you sleep as much as you can in the morning, your body tends to process a lot more of the food
Hmm.
versus waking up and like thrashing your hormones and your systems off. So if you can sleep more, I noticed that the peristalsis, which is what moves food through you, works better.
Hmm.
Obviously, things like hydration, if you're really, really dehydrated, the common person doesn't realize that they're drinking soda and coffee and no water or no juice.
Hmm.
Get some fluids into you, some fruit as well, some fiber, things like that.
Heck yeah.
And I would say that if you're really having a hard time, uh, the Morse herbs, I think they're just fantastic. He has some bowel formulas, and I'll take it with tea.
Hmm.
And it doesn't purge. It's not like prune juice. It's not like coffee. It's like it eliminates the bulk that's built up inside of you,
Yeah.
so that your system can run clean. Just like if you had a car or a your toilet was backed up. If you get it
Right.
flowing again, it's going to work properly. You don't have to do it forever. You just got to fix it because it's fucked up right now, right? So
Right. That's great.
yeah, some simple takeaways. Again, it's a pillar. If you're having issues, you got to figure that out. We have other videos on the subject too you can check out, but we got a lot to come. Let us know down below if there's something you do want to hear about, whether it's health or fitness or any of these things. We're looking to see what you guys want to hear because
Yeah.
we want to talk about a wide range of stuff. As much as we love health and fitness, we also want to expand outside of that. So
For sure, AJ. Awesome. Thank you, dude. And just some takeaways from my side of it. Um, Obviously, once again, sleep, make sure you are being physically active, at least walking at the minimum, 20 to 30 minutes a day. That's good. Get some sunlight on you. Make sure you are staying hydrated. Even just liquids in general, in my opinion, are good and help ease up your digestion. I guess even when you think about it theoretically, like the less food that you put in, more liquids, it just leaves more room in your gut so that you're able to easier digest your food potentially later in the day.
yeah.
So liquids are good. If you do like drinking milk or juice or tea or even raw milk if you're down that path as well. Um, but yeah, also too, time out your meals a little bit better and try like limiting the late night snacking, and
Mm-hmm.
try to like eat actual meals versus just like a protein bar or something. But I get it, we're all busy and stuff, and sometimes life happens, and maybe that's all you can have is like an apple and a protein bar.
That actually
Um,
reminds me. So one of the things that I actually want to teach through this channel is instead of doing the whole perfect thing, really getting down some simple things that translate over a lifetime. You
yeah.
study the blue zones, which I tend to be. I want to go next year. But what they teach is like people do eat slower.
Hmm.
So like no matter what you're eating, if you eat slower, no matter what you're eating, but you eat to 80% fullness instead of fucking like, oh, and you got to sit on the couch.
Right.
And then also just like taking your time, eating with people, talking, and doing the simple stuff, going for the walks, like you said. I think we should like have a walking generation because it's probably the best thing you fucking could do.
There you go.
You know,
I agree. Awesome, dude. Well, we could talk all day about this stuff, but we're gonna get going here. AJ,
alrighty.
it was a pleasure. Uh,
Always
I
good to
had
be
a lot of
back
fun. So, anyway, stay up, be great, and always keep it 100, baby.
and stay hungry.